Thank you, Mel and Robbie, for that wonderful introduction. Good morning, dear family, friends, faculty, Dean Noria, distinguished alumni speakers Mezu and Ndidi Winelli, and of course, the class of 2020. My name is Gaby Santana Goldstein. I am one of your Student Association co-presidents and forever a proud member of Section C.
And my name is Connor Cash. I'm also one of your Student Association co-presidents and a proud member of Section C. Together, we have had the immense privilege of representing you over this past year.
We gather today virtually to celebrate not only the past 2 years together, but to thank those who've supported us throughout our journey to Harvard Business School.
And though none of us envisioned celebrating this day from a distance, we feel lucky that so many of our loved ones are able to join us today from all over the world.
Growing up as the daughter of 2 immigrants, I watched my parents work extremely hard to learn a language and a culture not their own, ultimately building 2 small businesses and sacrificing beyond belief for the dreams of their children. They taught me that by always embracing kindness, generosity, and a love for education, I could achieve anything in life. It was through the support of teachers, mentors, and my family and friends that I was able to pursue numerous life-changing opportunities that would positively impact my community back home as well. Early on in our RC year, Connor and I realized we had a mutual appreciation for what the support of a community could mean to an individual. We owed our own successes to the many people who've supported us along the way, a notion that served as the basis for our running together as Student Association co-presidents, which is undoubtedly the defining experience of our time together at HBS. We thank you for the opportunity.
I was raised just outside of Boston, where I grew up in a single-parent home. Even though my dad passed away when I was very young, my mom was always there to prop up my brother Tyler and me. She instilled in us the confidence to take on the world, to dream big, but always put academics first. She was our biggest cheering section and our biggest motivator. I started setting higher and higher goals for myself, and she was the reason why. I'm so thankful for her pushing me to achieve my own highest potential. In many ways, she was the only parent I ever had. So when she fell ill and ultimately passed away when I was 19, in one instance, I lost both my parents. In dealing with this loss, I leaned heavily on my friends, family, and mentors. I would not be here today without the immense love and support I received during this time. When I stepped on campus nearly 2 years ago, I was determined to make the most of my time here. First and foremost for my parents, who I knew were proudly watching over me. I knew how much this would have meant to them. And secondly, for all those who had sacrificed their time and energy to improve my own circumstances, I wanted to do what I could to improve this experience for those that came after me. With that backdrop, when the opportunity to be a co-president of the Student Association arose, I knew deep down this was something I wanted to dedicate my time to, but my shy and reserved self would be stretched. Thus again, I am so thankful for those who pushed me to step outside of my comfort zone and supported me along the way. Not only did I get to spend immense amounts of time with an incredible partner in crime and watch her manage and juggle more than I could ever imagine, I had a front row seat to observing the incredible things that the faculty, staff, and students can accomplish through intense collaboration and trust. We tackled socioeconomic challenges, created new avenues for students to come together and engage with one another, and re-envisioned how we interact with our physical spaces in a more inclusive way. This was the momentum that we began to build early in the year. But as the pandemic came our way, we had to disperse, go digital, and socially distance ourselves. Our priorities shifted to focus on managing the transition to virtual learning and engaging in a digital community. Through this process, we saw the strength of the community and just how important it is to work together as one.
Over the last few months, I have thought often about what the COVID-19 pandemic has revealed about our community at HBS. Overnight, everything changed as we were forced to say goodbye to friends who had to jump on planes to get home before borders closed. Classes went online, partners stayed home, and our kids were all of a sudden homeschooled. None of this was easy, but it revealed about our community an ability to look out for one another's well-being, ultimately coming together in spirit, even when physically apart. Over spring break, faculty and staff worked tirelessly to move our curriculum online, while our online learning facilitators paused their full-time jobs to support our digital learning. We've seen peers launch tremendous relief efforts such as MBAs Fight COVID-19 and lift our community up through events like the HBS Show and HBS Got Talent, all beautifully executed virtually. Our custodial staff doubled their efforts to keep our common spaces sanitary, and the restaurant's associates team redid our lunch menu to ensure we had food that could be safely picked up. As for me, personally, this is the community that lifted me up as I anxiously awaited the arrival of our first baby Theo amidst the uncertainty of the pandemic. Coming together in these ways can only happen because of the strong foundation we've built throughout our 2 years together. We didn't become strong because of COVID-19, but rather the challenges with which the pandemic presented us revealed just how strong our community has always been.
These sobering times serve as a reminder of the delicate balance in the world and our place in it. Harvard Business School educates leaders who make a difference in the world, and as such, we are tasked with great responsibility. We do have the ability to make a lasting impact, yet to achieve this potential, we must stay true to what we believe in, what we stand for, and we must be grounded in humility and share gratitude to all that have helped us get here. We are the result of a supportive community of family, friends, and mentors who helped mold us into the people we are today and provided guidance on making the most of ourselves. As we leave the designation of an MBA student to a graduate of HBS, we must ensure that we do the same for others. Be sure that we are opening our doors and dedicating our time to build up more communities. These efforts and many more will have a lasting effect, especially in these times. As leaders, we will emerge into uncharted territories, and many of us will have to be more flexible than we ever imagined. We will be defined by our continued dedication to improving circumstances for all. We have the opportunity to be remembered as the class of 2020 who took to heart the charge of becoming leaders who make a difference in the world.
During orientation week, we are asked to contemplate the question, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Standing before you today, I want to share some thoughts on how to at least begin to respond to this challenge. In his book, How Will You Measure Your Life?, beloved HBS professor Clay Christensen, who passed away earlier this year, writes, "Purpose must be deliberately conceived and chosen, and then pursued." Class of 2020, this is our time to choose and pursue our purpose. Professor Christensen elaborates, "I used to think that if you cared for other people, you needed to study sociology or something like it. But I concluded, if you want to help other people, be a manager. If done well, management is among the most noble of professions. You are in a position where you have 8 or 10 hours every day from every person who works for you. You have the opportunity to frame each person's work so that at the end of every day, your employees will go home living a life filled with motivators. I believe we should pursue a purpose of fostering a strength in our future communities that resembles the determination and kindness exhibited by our community these last few months. As HBS graduates, we possess the training and opportunity, as Professor Christensen states, to make a lasting impact on the many lives we'll touch. This ability to use our experience to encourage and guide those around us is, I believe, a key part of extracting the most meaning from our wild and precious lives.
As we enter into the real world, keep these values close to your heart. When we come back for our 1-year, 5-year, or 20-year reunions, our priorities will change as we enter different stages of our lives. But the strength of this community will continue to be tested, just as it was in supporting the friends and families of the members of our community that we lost this year. As our paths diverge, we will see the true strength of each of our commitments to one another in the small interactions that we seek out. Whether it's organizing a group catch-up or checking in on a classmate you haven't heard from in a while, the fabric of our class rests in each of our hands. With that, we have 3 asks. First, we ask that each of us be vulnerable in taking that first step to reconnect with a classmate.
Second, we ask that we appreciate all those that sacrifice so much to get us here.
And third, seek out ways to build up others along the way. If we accomplish this, we will continue to hold this community together, stay grounded in gratitude, and live a meaningful life. Thank you all so very much, and see you soon.